Okay, let's dive in. So you've probably like sat through your fair share of company town halls, right?
Oh, absolutely. They can be an experience.
Totally. Well, today on the deep dive, we're sort of pulling apart these corporate gatherings. We've got this document. We're just calling it 108.pdf,
Yeah.
and the idea is to use it as like a field guide
Yeah.
to decode some of that hidden language, maybe figure out some tactics for, surviving them.
Yeah, it's interesting because on the surface, it's all about transparency, connection,
Mm-hmm.
but underneath, it's often, let's say, a carefully orchestrated event, getting a feel for those undercurrents that can really change things for you.
It really can. Maybe even make them, dare I say, useful.
Huh, maybe. Or at least less confusing.
Okay, so let's start with something we've all heard, leadership speak. This document, 108.pdf, it gives us a pretty funny cheat sheet,
Uh-huh.
like visionary alignment. Any guesses what the source translates that to?
Oh, boy. Something positive but vague.
Pretty much. It says, we're all doomed, but stay calm.
Wow. Okay, cynical, but sometimes.
Sometimes it feels that way, right? Why do you think we get these kinds of phrases?
Well, language like that, it's very broad. It can sometimes make it harder to have like a real strategic conversation because it avoids the specifics.
Yeah, like who does what?
Exactly. So it sounds good, sounds positive, but you might walk away thinking, okay, but what's the actual plan here?
Right. Okay, next one. Synergy. The doc playfully says this means we panicked and merged teams.
Ah, synergy, the magic word.
Anyone who's lived through a messy merger probably gets that one.
Yeah, the idea of synergy, 1 + 1 = 3, it doesn't always pan out, does it?
Not always.
Sometimes those hoped for benefits, the smoother operations or whatever, they don't quite materialize.
Okay, how about unprecedented growth?
Yeah.
According to this, it could mean we hired 3 interns.
Ouch. Well, it shows a tendency to really emphasize any kind of upward movement, doesn't it?
Definitely putting a positive spin.
I mean, hiring interns is growth, technically, but the scale, maybe not quite living up to unprecedented.
Fair point. Then we have pivot,
Yeah.
the document's dry take. Our last idea failed.
Huh. Yes. It's just a much gentler way to put it, isn't it? We're changing direction.
It's become so common. Pivot.
It has, and it suggests adaptability, which, is generally seen as good.
Sure.
But yeah, it can definitely gloss over the fact that Plan A didn't quite cut it.
And this one always gets me. Low-hanging fruit, which apparently means we're out of ideas, please help.
Oh, that's good. It's like a coded request for suggestion.
Right, it sounds like you're being efficient, targeting easy wins.
Exactly. But it might also signal that maybe the bigger, more innovative ideas aren't quite there yet or haven't been found.
Now, this made me chuckle. The document mentions a digital transformation drinking game.
Oh, no.
Yeah, take a sip of water every time you hear it. Unless, it warns, you're working from home after 2 p.m. Good safety
Oh,
tip.
probably wise. That phrase it's everywhere.
It really is. It's so broad,
Yes.
Sometimes feels like it's just dropped in without much.
Specificity.
Yeah,
What part of the digital transformation are we actually talking about right now?
exactly. We actually had a listener send in a brilliant example of this sort of thing. A VP on Zoom call, apparently,
Mm-hmm.
kept saying, let's table this, like 5 times
On Zoom.
on Zoom,
And
until someone piped up, sir, this is a Zoom call, not IKEA.
oh, that's fantastic. Perfect example of how that corporate speak can just feel disconnected from how we actually work now.
Totally out of sync. Okay, let's switch gears. Strategic nodding. This is crucial.
Ah, yes. The art of the nod.
108.pdf breaks it down.
Yeah.
Level 1, the I'm alive nod. Slow, maybe every 3 seconds.
Mhm.
Translation. I'm here, physically, my mind, possibly composing a grocery list. Sound familiar?
That's the baseline, isn't it? It's just presence confirmation, minimal effort, minimal engagement signaled.
Pretty much. Okay, level 2, the I agree with what nod.
And
This one's more energetic, maybe with a slight frown,
right, the concerned agreement look.
meaning no clue what's happening, but nodding vigorously makes me look like I'm processing important information.
Exactly. That little frown adds a touch of gravitas, like you're really weighing the point.
Even if you're actually just trying to remember what the point was. A classic.
Survival skill.
Totally. And then level 3, the please don't cold call me nod. Stoic. Maybe arms crossed.
Ah, the defensive posture.
Meaning, I am pondering deeply, probably my lunch order. Do not ask me anything.
Yeah, the crossed arms, the focused gaze into the middle distance. It creates a kind of barrier, doesn't it?
A force field.
Signals you're perhaps not quite ready to jump into the discussion.
We actually got a listener hack related to this.
Mm-mm.
Apparently, someone nodded so much their boss mistook them for a bobblehead.
Seriously?
Yeah. And the result, 0 follow-up questions directed their way.
Wow. That's bold. A bit extreme, maybe.
Definitely risky.
But it does show how powerful those nonverbal cues are, right?
Yeah,
Consciously or not, they shape how engaged people think you are.
absolutely. Okay, so nodding is one thing. What about asking questions?
Mhm.
The document suggests mastering the seemingly insightful but actually safe question.
Ah. The art of looking smart without sticking your neck out.
Exactly. First type. The clarify the jargon question. Like, could you elaborate on how we're leveraging our core competencies in this context?
Yeah.
Real meaning. I zoned out about 10 minutes ago and have no idea what you just said.
Right. But it's useful, isn't it? It buys you time.
True.
Makes you look like you're paying attention, and you might actually help someone else who's also lost but afraid to ask.
Good point. Okay, next. The softball for leadership question. Something like, how can we as individual contributors best support this bold new direction?
Oh, yeah. The please notice me question.
Translation. I'm gunning for a promotion and want to sound aligned.
Mm-hmm. These questions are usually framed to, flatter the strategy, show you're on board, ready to contribute, signals commitment.
All about the optics. Then there's the pretend you're deep question. Like, what's the risk-reward trade-off we're considering if we don't pursue this innovation?
Ah, pulling out the buzzwords.
Secret meaning. I skimmed a Harvard Business Review article once. Sounds impressive.
He can sound impressive. Taps into those broader strategic ideas.
Yeah.
If your understanding is just, surface level, it projects strategic thinking.
Right. But big warning from the source document here.
Okay.
Probably best to avoid asking. So, are layoffs coming?
Oof. Yeah, unless you really enjoy intensely awkward silence.
Right. Some questions are just not for the town hall forum.
Definitely. That kind of direct, high-stakes question about job security puts everyone on the spot, likely won't get a straight answer anyway, and just creates tension.
Yeah. Save it for a different context. Okay, so let's wrap up with this week's listener challenge. Time to play with these ideas.
All right, let's hear it.
First, invent your own corporate buzzword for multitasking during meetings.
Ooh, I like that.
The example given is asynchronous cognitive bandwidth optimization. Glorious, right?
That is spectacularly awful. Perfect. It's a fun way to poke at that sometimes slightly pretentious language we all hear.
Exactly. Second challenge. Describe your company's last town hall in just 3 emojis.
3 emojis. Okay.
We saw an example. Cow emoji, poop emoji, refresh emoji.
Wow, that paints a vivid picture. Same old story, maybe.
Seems like it. Emojis can be surprisingly eloquent, can't they?
They really can. A concise summary of the vibe.
Okay, and lastly, share the wildest, most outlandish corporate euphemism you've personally encountered.
Oh, the doublespeak challenge.
Yeah. The example was voluntary career transition instead of,
You're fired.
you're fired.
Yeah.
We want to hear those gems. Oh, and the document also had this visual described, a CEO talking about right-sizing while standing directly in front of a giant flowchart detailing the performance improvement plan process.
Oh, the irony. The visual totally undercut the euphemism.
Completely.
Yeah.
Sometimes the backdrop tells the real story.
That's so true. Euphemisms try to soften things, obscure the less pleasant realities of change. Spotting them is definitely a skill.
So our final thought for you, as you head into your next town hall, maybe you'll go armed with this new awareness. Maybe try out a strategic level 2 nod.
Just don't overdo it like the bobblehead guy.
Good advice. And perhaps, just perhaps, resist the urge to Google how to look interested on Zoom.
Yeah, maybe just try being interested, or at least understand the game a bit better. It might make the whole thing feel a bit more navigable.
Definitely. Hopefully you can approach them with, more awareness. Maybe even find a way to make them work better for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Our next deep dive will be tackling how to write an out-of-office message that sounds important but reveals nothing.
Ooh, essential skills for the modern workplace.
Couldn't agree more. Till then.